Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of The Devil Inside. It's a horror, came out in 2012. It's a 15, an hour and 23 minutes. IMDb is 4.2 out of 10. So I actually watched it on Netflix, but it's not a Netflix film. There's quite a few people who go, oh, the Netflix film. It's like, no, it's just on Netflix. Well, not for very long, it's actually leaving soon. So the IMDb one is, in Italy, a woman becomes involved in a series of unauthorized exorcisms during her mission to discover what happened to her mother, who allegedly murdered 3 people during her own exorcism. And Netflix is, to get to the truth behind claims that her mum killed 3 while possessed, a woman travels to Rome and becomes involved in a series of exorcisms. So the director is William Brent Bell, who directed The Boy. Producers, well, there's 8 of them, so I've just picked the main 2. We have Maurice Paulson, who produced Were, W-E-R, and Matthew Peterman, who produced Were. Music was by Brett Detar, D-E-T-A-R, who did the music for Were, and Ben Romans, who did the music for New York Lately. So we have the cast, the main ones. We have Fernanda Andrade, who is Isabella Rossi, who was in the Let the Right One In, the series. Simon Quarterman, who was Father Ben Rawlins, who was in Were, and he's on the left. And Evan Helmuth, who was Father David Keane, who was in Jobs, and he's on the right. It was filmed in Bucharest in Romania, Vatican City, and Rome, Lazio, Italy. It's also known as just Devil Inside in France, and the US working title was Untitled Bell and Peterman Film. So, like I say, it's on Netflix. There you go. It's an interesting thing because at the very beginning it says this sort of like statement. It says the Vatican does not authorize the recording of Roman Catholic exorcism. The Vatican did not endorse this film nor aid in its completion. A bit of a strange one because you don't normally have this kind of stuff at the front of films. I mean, you can say that for everything. Oh, I know the police didn't agree to the making of Bad Boys. They weren't involved with it. Well, they probably were, but you know what I mean? That sort of thing. It's just like, what the hell? Now, it literally starts the 911 call. Then the crime scene video that was nice and grainy. Couldn't see a thing. And then news. And now we have what looks like to be a documentary as the main star, as well as other interviews. So I think from what I can gather, because it's like a documentary kind of thing, the camera work is kind of jerky and zooming out, and it's just like what it just looked like a not just a documentary, but like a poor documentary. So we got the camera work, it's jerky, zooming in and out, it's kind of, looking the wrong way, that kind of thing. And she's literally talking all the way through it. And this is only 10 minutes in. So instead of her just going wherever she's going, well, I'm in the car and I'm driving to so-and-so, yes, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's like, yeah, can you just let the camera do the talking? Now, I've seen loads of documentaries about all sorts of things, like many people have seen documentaries. Now, I would say I'm pretty sure they use tripods or something to get a smooth, when they're standing still, they go, right, okay, instead of me just using this on my shoulder, we're going to be watching something or we're having a discussion, I'm going to put it on a tripod or we'll put it on the desk or whatever. No, we'll just use it on the shoulder, and so it just bounces all over the place. It's going to be a bestseller, I can guarantee you. So, the mother's locked in an insane asylum, and it's completely locked up. And she kicks off about anything religious, if it's mentioned. Obviously because she's possessed. But for some bizarre reason, all the frosted windows of all the doors, including her own, has a cross on it. It's like, wouldn't you have thought maybe to cover that up? Think of the patient. So there's no music. Obviously, because it's like a documentary. But then when a mum flipped out, this music or something kicked in, like da-da-da. This music, where's that come from? Of course, I'm watching this. I'm hoping I'm going to learn something new, because it's just slow moving. But apparently, there's 4 factors to determine demonic possession. Apparently, unnatural strength, aversion to holy objects, languages, or events they could not have known, and preternatural movement, apparently objects moving in a room, according to the two fathers. So these two priests, who were Simon and Evan, perform this exorcism outside the church. So the church, obviously they do exorcism, but they're not supposed to do exorcism because you're not supposed to do it, even though you do it. It's like the famous, it's Fight Club, but we don't talk about Fight Club sort of thing, because it's frowned upon. Anyway, they're doing it. It's all hush hush. It's not really legal. So if they found out about this, would be, I don't know what it is, kicked out of the church and all that sort of stuff. But they're filming it for a documentary. It's like, what? You do realise this is going to probably be on TV or something, and your jobs are knackered at that point anyway. Oh yeah, I committed that murder, but I can't tell anyone because I'll get done for murder. So I'm just going to tell everybody in this live documentary that's probably going to be broadcast all over the internet. It's like now the exorcism on the woman was pretty intense. It's actually in the trailer, I think. It's quite good to watch. Now I don't know much about priesthood, to be really honest, and I didn't know that if they were allowed to smoke. I thought it's all like a sin and things. And then there's the old the guilt trip, right? So what's his name? Evan says, I'm not okay with this. So then Simon says, Ben Rawlins goes, well, what would you do if it was your mother? Guilt tripped. It's like, okay, fine, let's do it. Now I understand why Father Ben Rawlins, who was Simon Quarterman, was getting annoyed with the daughter, which was obviously Isabella in the film, because he wants to help others. Right? He says, well, we've done this bit, we've figured this out, we're now going to go and work, we can use this research to help others all around the world. And she's like, no, focus on my mum. Don't even touch the rest of the people, get them away from the church, I just want to focus on my mum. Which is understandable, but she was kind of getting a bit annoyed, and I just told her where to go. Obviously they can't because, the priests. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but they're doing baptism on this little baby, and it's saying that baptism is about the transfer of sins, both original and personal. That's what he's saying actually when he's doing it. If, for example, a baby was to die after being baptized, it would go to heaven. Before, then it goes to hell. So if that's true, that's fine. Maybe that's what baptism is. So my theory is, or my query is, does it not have a cut-off date? Without being a bit weird. Because if it doesn't, that means that if you're baptized as a kid, which quite a lot of kids are, whatever faith or religion, you could be Muslim or Judaism or whatever, Jewish or whatever it is, you'll have something equivalent of baptism. I'm guessing, I don't know. But if you're baptized, for example, and then as an adult you do some bad things, and they go, oh, that's evil, la la la. If you get baptized again just before you're sentenced or you go to your death chamber or whatever it is, do you go to heaven? Because apparently if you be baptized, all your sins are transferred. So surely that means that basically all these people that are in death row and stuff in America, and quite a few of them are religious, they think they're going to go to heaven, and everyone goes, you're going to go to hell. It's like, that's okay, I'm going to go and get baptized. I'm not going to hell now. I don't know, it just seems weird. If that's the truth, I don't know, because I don't follow religion. Oh, of course, as usual, I watch a film in the dark because I like to get into the film, immerse myself. And then they turn out all the lights, that's fine. But then we've got the shaky camera, some crappy torchlights, some jerkiness and everything else. It's like, great, thanks for that. Can't see a damn thing. Now, again, I don't know if this is true, but can you film in a hospital without permission? And I'm pretty sure you can't, no matter what country it is. I mean, if you go to your hospitals in whichever country you are, and somebody walks in with some camera gear and starts filming everybody, including the nurses and all the other people who are ill, you know, that are there, either sitting in the waiting room or actually in a bed, is that not invasion of privacy, and is that not also an illegal thing? I don't know, but apparently not. If you're doing a documentary, you saw it. So if you want to go and film some people in the hospital, just say you're doing a documentary. They'll be fine with it. Trust me. It says it on this film, so it must be true. So you have a sedated, possessed person in the backseat of your car. Would you secure using seat belts and that kind of thing? Because you haven't got any rope, because you never do. But you have got seat belts, because most cars have seat belts. Would you put seat belts on to secure it? Or would you just not bother, so that when they wake up, it causes mayhem? Now, like I say, it was not a film I expected, because when you read the IMDb and the Netflix, it doesn't mention anything about it being a documentary. It as a documentary type film. But I think it's supposed to be like a found footage thing, one of those ones. You know, oh, this is what happened, la la, this, because there's quite a few you don't realise it's those until the end or halfway through, and think, oh, what the hell, is this one of those found footage films? But it's a little bit different the way it was done. The first exorcism was good, but some parts were annoying. Ending, not what I expected, to be brutally honest, but it wasn't great. I'm going to give it a 4, and that's been me being really good. Purely because it was a bit of a different take on the infamous found footage thing that people get annoyed with. I agree completely with it, to be brutally honest. It drives me nuts. But they did put some thought behind some of the stuff. It did look like a documentary, I suppose, not just a guy doing some film, and there was interviews and stuff like that with people. Obviously they weren't real, but you know what I mean. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of The Devil Inside. Please subscribe to my channel. Got plenty of the horror films reviews, so you might find something you might like. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave a comment in the comment box below. Have you seen this film? Did you enjoy it? Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.